Okay, we are recording. Hello there, everybody. I am doing this recorded lecture for the next few problems that we would have done together in class in our payroll class. And so we got through on Wednesday up to problem 5.8a. And so we're going to pick up where we left off again and go through the next few problems together. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Get this pulled up. Okay, so this is problem 5.9a. This is on page 36. And so this one says, the partnership of Keenan and Cludlow paid the following wages this year. And so they give us a list of individual employees and their positions. In addition, the partnership owed $200 to Rudolph for work he performed during December. However, payment for this work will not be made until January of the following year. The SUTA rate is 2.95% on the first $9,000 of each employee's earnings. Okay, so that's going to be important to us because the FUTA rate is up to $7,000 in wages. The SUTA is $9,000 in wages. So we're going to have different amounts of taxable wages. The other thing I wanted to point out to you was this $200 that they give us that they owe to Rudolph. So on page 9 of chapter 5, it talks about unemployment compensation, taxes, and credits. And so it says on page 9, the base of the unemployment compensation tax is wages paid rather than wages payable. It says wages are considered paid when actually paid or when constructively paid. Wages are considered constructively paid when credited to the account of or set apart for an employee so that they may be drawn upon at any time. So we have not paid these wages yet. So we do not need to worry about that $200. That's not going to come into play for our calculations. We don't need to worry about that. But we do have to consider again that our wage limit for SUTA is 9,000. So I think the best way to do this is to make a column here for SUTA taxable wages. And then we can make a column for FUTA taxable wages. Because they're going to be different amounts, again, since FUTA has a 7,000 wage limit and SUTA has a $9,000 wage limit. So for partners, they are not, they do not pay unemployment taxes. So 0 taxable for Keenan, 0 taxable for Cludlow. Same thing with FUTA. They do not pay unemployment taxes, federal or state unemployment taxes. So 0 for both of those. I apologize. My little puppy just went running off with the sock and I had to take it from him. Now he's mad at me, but okay. So for in Perry, the supervisor, again, 9,000 taxable for SUTA, 7,000 taxable for FUTA. Same thing for T. Lee, factory worker, 9,000 taxable for SUTA, 7,000 taxable for FUTA. Same thing for R. Rolf, the factory worker, 9,000 taxable for SUTA, 7,000 taxable for FUTA. D. Broach only made 6,900, so 6,900 taxable for SUTA, 6,900 taxable for FUTA. S. Ruiz, the bookkeeper, 9,000 taxable for SUTA, 7,000 taxable for FUTA. And then finally, this C. Rudolph, the maintenance worker, 5,100 taxable for SUTA, 5,100 taxable for FUTA. So now we can add up our total, and this is what, G4 through G11. Oh man. So 48,000 in wages taxable for SUTA. And then we can add up our FUTA taxable wages, I4 through I11. Oh man. And 40,000 taxable wages for FUTA. Okay, so net FUTA tax for the partnership for this year. So it's going to be equal to our FUTA taxable wages times 0.6%. So if we plug our numbers in here, 40,000 times 0.006. So 240 for FUTA tax. And then for SUTA tax, again, SUTA taxable wages, 48,000 times the SUTA rate. They give it to us here, 2.95%. So equal to 48,000 times 0.0295. So 1,416 for both of those. Okay, and that's all we needed to do for problem 59A. Not too bad. Okay. Let's look at problem 510A. So this one is a little bit different because we've got a situation here where the company didn't pay the SUTA tax on time, so there's a bit of a penalty involved. It shows us an example and talks about this on page 11 of our textbook. So it says, let's see, where is that? Basically, they have a 10% penalty for not paying on time. It shows us an example on page 11 of our textbook. So it says Peroni Company paid wages of $170,900 this year. Of that amount, $114,000 was taxable for net FUTA and SUTA purposes. The state's contribution tax rate is 3.1% for Peroni Company. Due to cash flow problems, the company did not make any SUTA payments until after the Form 940 filing date. So we've got that 10% penalty involved here. So I'm going to make a note of this. After the filing date, 10% penalty. Okay. And then I'm going to set this up similar to the way the book sets it up, and then we'll get our answers here to each of the questions. So it's the way that the book shows us to set this up. We're going to take our gross FUTA tax. And so our gross FUTA tax would be the 114,000 times 6%. And maybe there's, let's see, let's do it this way. Gross FUTA tax. I'll put it in parentheses here. So, oh, why my computer keeps doing that. 114,000 times 6%. And so equals 114,000 times 0.06. So that's our gross FUTA tax rate. Now we can say less 90% credit for state taxes paid late. And for this one, I'm trying to leave myself enough room here. Equals 114,000 times 0.06. Less 90% credit for state taxes paid late. So for this, we take our 114,000. Hot dog. 114,000 times the SUTA rate. State contribution tax rate is 3.1% times 90%. So we're only going to get a credit basically for 90% since they were paid late. So if we plug these numbers in here, we got equals 114,000 times 0.031 times 0.9. Okay, so then we'd get a credit of $3,180.60. And then again, I'm following the way the book shows us to do it. It says less additional credit or state tax if rate were 5.4%. And maybe I'll abbreviate this a little bit so we have enough room. I don't know if you guys can hear my puppy in there barking. He is very upset that I took that sock from him, but it'll be okay. All right, I'm trying to move this over so I've got enough room to put in parentheses how we're calculating this. So times 0.031 times 0.9. Okay, and then less additional credit for state tax if rate were 5.4%. So essentially, we need to take our 114,000 times the difference between 5.4% minus 3.1%. So 2.3% is that difference. So we can say equals 114,000 times 0.023. So those are the amounts of the credits that we're getting essentially on our FUTA rate or against our gross FUTA rate, right? So if the gross FUTA tax is 6,840, and then we're getting a credit for the state amount, less that 10% penalty, and then credit for the difference between our state 3.1 contribution rate and the maximum allowed 5.4%. That gives us then a total credit equal to 5802 and 60 cents. Let me go ahead and format these cells. So they show us our dollars and cents and commas there, right? So we've got that credit calculated equals okay. And then if we take our gross FUTA minus the credit, that gives us our net FUTA. Net FUTA tax. Equals the gross minus the credits we get for the state unemployment paid. So $1,037.40 net FUTA tax. So letter A was asking us the amount of credit the company would receive against the FUTA tax for its SUTA contributions. So that's this total credit, 5802.06. 5802.6, yeah, 0.60, yeah, is the answer to letter A. Okay. I'll do this in red. The amount the Peroni company would pay to the federal government for its FUTA tax. So the FUTA tax, that's that net amount of FUTA tax. So 1037.40 that we calculated. And then the amount the company lost because of its late payments. So for this one, okay, if we, there's a couple different ways that we could calculate this. If we did not have the 10% penalty, we would have had what? Equal to 114,000 times 0.031, because we wouldn't have had to take it times 90%. We wouldn't have had that 10% penalty. So plus 2622 would have been the total credit that we would have gotten. Uh-oh, it doesn't like it. Oh, you know what? I need to why doesn't it like it? Well, let's see. See the best way to do this in Excel. Okay, so if we would have gotten our 114,000 times 0.031, we would have gotten a credit of 3534. And then we could have taken our 3534 plus 3534 plus 2622. Okay, so this should have been our total credit. Instead of 5802.60. Let's see here. Currency. Currency, okay. Let me move this down. Maybe that'll help my brain here. Okay, so 3534 would have been the amount of credit without 10% penalty. Amount of credit for state taxes paid without the 10% penalty. So 6156, again, that is the 31. Put this over. I just want to be more, just show us exactly where we got the numbers from so you guys don't get confused when you're doing this for your homework. So if we would have taken $3,180.60, excuse me, $3,534 plus $2,622, then that would have equaled 3534 plus 2622. That would have equaled a total credit of 6,156. Should have been our total credit. Right, so 6156 should have been our total credit. Instead, that's so I can move this over. This one's kind of funky trying to put it in Excel this way, but so 6156 should have been our total credit. So if we take now the 6156 minus what our total credit was, which was the $5,802.60. $5,802.60. We essentially paid a penalty, 6156 minus 5802.6. We paid a penalty equal to $353.40. That's letter C. The amount the company lost, or another way to say it would be the amount of our penalty, right? 353.40. The amount the company lost because of its late payments. And I'm just going to put in parentheses here to remind us 10% penalty. Okay. Yeah, that one's a little bit different. And so I wanted to make sure that we went through that one together. That was problem 510A. And then I've got one more picked out for us. I thought here, let's see. 5-9, 5-10. I thought I typed in the information for 511 here. Well, that's okay. We'll do it together. Okay, so now we're going to do problem 511A. This one is also page 37. Okay, so problem 511A. This one says that Jordan Company was subject to the Alaska SUTA tax of 4.2%. The company's taxable wages for FUTA are 86,700. And for SUTA, 171,000. And then it's asking us to compute letter A, SUTA tax that Jordan Company would pay to Alaska. Letter B, net FUTA tax. And then letter C, and this one is a little bit different for us. We haven't had this yet. But letter C, the amount of employees' unemployment tax. Remember, we said there's 6 or 7 states that the employees also have to pay some unemployment tax, and Alaska is one of those. And so we're going to have to look for that rate in our book. So we'll get started on these calculations, though. So the SUTA tax that Jordan Company would pay to Alaska, this is going to be equal to our SUTA taxable wages, which are 171,000 times the SUTA tax rate 4.2%. So 171,000 times 0.042. So that is 7,182 is our answer there. And then the net FUTA tax. So remember, the net FUTA tax is the 0.6%. Oh, hot dog. 0.6%. So this is our FUTA taxable wages, 86,700 times 0.6%. 86,700 times 0.006. 52020. So $520.20 is our answer there. And then finally, letter C, the amount of employees' unemployment tax. Okay, so for this, we have to look at, this is on page 13. Alaska employees pay 0.5% on the first 39,900 of their wages. So for this one, we're going to take our SUTA taxable wages, 171,000 times, and according to our textbook, again, page 13, 0.5%. Times 0.005. So employees would contribute $855. the amount of employees' unemployment tax. Okay, that was problem 511. So, problem 512, I want to save for when we're back in class together because we get some practice with calculating the reserve ratio and how we figure out our unemployment tax, or a way that the state figures out our unemployment tax. And so I want to do that together in class because we haven't looked at that or talked about that reserve ratio yet. So we went through today in this recorded lecture 5-9A, 510A, and then 511A. And again, we'll pick back up and continue on with 512 together on Monday. All right. Bye-bye, guys. See you on Monday.